Our constitution allows us the right to democratic protest, but the constitution also holds that right with duties. Peaceful protest is our right, but calls to behead someone or offer bounties to kill defies the very fabric of our democracy. Today, India was shocked as we saw open calls for violence and chants of Sartan Se Juda right from Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir to Ahmedabad to even Aurangabad in Maharashtra. Calls to behead Nupur Sharma were issued with complete impunity. It started with Srinagar's Lal Chowk, where chants were raised of Sartan Se Juda. One of the people marching along is Fayaz Bukhari, who was suspended from the Apni party for announcing a 10 lakh rupees bounty on Nupur Sharma.
सोशल मीडिया की वसातत से आपको ये पैगाम पूरी दुनिया को देना चाहते हैं कि जो इंडिया गवर्नमेंट है, जो उस लड़ीज़ ने बेशर्मा कलाम किया है, सिर्फ यही मुतालबा है, उसको आपने अपने पार्टी से बीजेपी से निकाला है, मगर वो नहीं चलेगा। उसको सजाई मौत देनी है और इसको पहले और उसको अरेस्ट करना है पहले, फिर उसको सजाई मौत देनी है। उस रोड पर जैसे सब लोग देख सकते हैं सोशल मीडिया पे।
Now that was in Srinagar, but this template seems to be repeating, and unfortunately this time around in Ahmedabad, even children were brought out to these streets, to these protests and made to chant violent, murderous slogans, poisoning them in their minds. Now, in the neighbouring state of Maharashtra, in Aurangabad, two similar chants were raised. These chants are against the very fabric of our democratic principles, which governed by rule of law and not by fatwas. But unfortunately, these provocators do not understand that. Provocative slogans seem to be spreading slowly across the country like a virus, because now these comments have been made in a rally in Bihar as well. Look at these visuals on your screens where little children are made to chant these slogans, poisoning their minds. This time, this protest coming to the fore from Muzaffarpur in Bihar.
बीजेपी मुर्दाबाद। गुस्ताख रसूल की एक सजा, बीजेपी मुर्दाबाद।
Aditya is with me for more on this. Aditya, we're given to understand that there was immense planning that went behind this particular protest. There was a deliberate attempt to prop up these children, slowly poison their minds, make them chant these murderous slogans. Perhaps they don't even know what it means and what they're being made to do.
Of course, I mean, as far as the minors are concerned, they must not be knowing what all they are actually chanting and what kind of slogans they actually are. And that being said, we have actually bite, and we have talked to some people. We have video evidence of people accepting the fact that the protest and the sort of thing was actually planned on local WhatsApp groups. And that being said, we have visuals from NH28 under Maniari police station of Muzaffarpur district, wherein we can clearly see minors and the entire mob actually chanting murderous slogans. Back to you.
Right, we do hope that action is taken against those who actually did plan this protest, get those innocent children out on streets there. But for the moment, Aditya, thank you so much. Now, just yesterday, a call was made from a masjid in Jammu, where a cleric gave a call to chop off Nupur Sharma's head. Such hate preachers are perhaps emboldened by the patronage of our opposition leaders especially, and those who are conspicuous with their silence. Listen in to Shafiqur Rahman Bark, a member of parliament of Akhilesh's party, who justified that call to behead. He called it action reaction.
नहीं तो अब वो स्टेटमेंट आप उसको कह रहे हैं तो उसके रिएक्शन में ही तो कह रहे हैं वो क्या हमारे नबी की शान में गुस्ताखी की है और फिर इसके बावजूद नो एक्शन. तो इसलिए अब ये एक्शन कोई नहीं है कि सब सस्पेंड कर दिया, बाहर निकाल दिया पार्टी से.
आप चाहते कानूनी कार्रवाई जल्द से जल्द हो
और इंशाल्लाह फिर ये हालात नॉर्मल हो जाएंगे.
Rahul Ishwar, an activist, joins us on this broadcast. Syed Masoodul Hasan, former vice president of the AMU Students Unit, also with us on this broadcast. And I'd like to begin with you, Mr. Hasan. Little kids being used as political props, by some with vested interest. Perhaps they don't even know what they're saying. They're made to chant slogans which are poisoning their mind. These are kids who should be in school, who should be studying, but look at what they're being made to do. Who's responsible and who's going to be answerable for this?
हमारे जो इस्लाम है, जो मजहब है, वो सीधा सीधा एक चीज कहता है कि जब नामूसे रिसालत यानी कि रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की इज्जत पे जब बात आए, जब उनके नाम के खिलाफ इस तरह के अल्फाज यूज करे जाएं जो अल्फाज नुपुर शर्मा ने और नवीन जिंदल ने इस्तेमाल किए हैं, तो फिर अपनी जान, इज्जत, आबरू, माल और दौलत हमारे लिए किसी काम की नहीं रह जाती. हम उन सब चीजों को कुर्बान कर सकते हैं. और ऐसा कि देखने को मिल रहा है, इन सब चीजें ये सब होने के बावजूद अभी तक नुपुर शर्मा, नवीन जिंदल जैसे जहरीले नाग और नागिन बाहर बहुत आराम से टहल रहे. उनको सिक्योरिटी दी जा रही है, सारी चीजें हैं. बिल्कुल सिक्योरिटी दी जानी चाहिए. किसी हमारे यहाँ कानून है, लॉ है, और उसके हिसाब से काम करना चाहिए सरकार को, और सबसे जल्द इन दोनों को अरेस्ट करके इनके ऊपर
उसी लॉ के हिसाब से इन लोगों को भी अरेस्ट करना चाहिए जो इस तरीके के बयान दे रहे हैं. क्या आप ये एग्री करेंगे?
बिल्कुल. जो भी शख्स कानून अपने हाथ में लेगा वो अरेस्ट होगा. और हमने ये चीज देखी है, जब मैं बात करना चाहूंगा, मुसलमान जब कुछ काम करता है, कोई रिएक्शन देता है, तो उसके लिए सारे कानून होते हैं. बुलडोजर भी चल जाता है उसके लिए, उसको जेल में भी डाल देते हैं, गोली भी मार देते हैं. लेकिन नुपुर शर्मा, नवीन जिंदल जैसों के लिए, नरसिम्हानंद जैसों के लिए कोई कानून नहीं होता क्या?
The law is the same for everyone, Mr. Hasan and Rahul Ishwar.
I don't think so.
Selective action.
I don't think so. The law is same from last 8 years.
Sure, Mr. Hasan, you are talking about selective action. Some would say, Rahul Ishwar, that the outrage is also selective because it's only one-sided, as Mr. Owaisi was saying, but it's just in reverse this time around because we don't see the same kind of condemnation in those same words coming in for those people, for those clerics who are calling for beheading of somebody.
Absolutely. Syed Saab, everyone respects Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And India has always a great tradition of respecting all religions. One mistake or one wrong thing has happened, and out of that wrong thing, we are trying to correct it. And when we are trying to correct, what is the use of giving provocative slogans? What is the purpose of violence? What is the purpose of coming out on street and calling for beheading? So please remember, many people are not ready to even condemn it. So this is an absolutely wrong thing. We should be ready.
Absolutely. The silence of many in the mainstream political parties as well is what is really stunning, isn't it, Anurag Naidu? Because that perhaps emboldens them. What we need is people in positions of power, politicians from the opposition rank, clerics who hold immense significance in their community to come out and stop this kind of provocation.
than what meets the eye. Not just Nupur Sharma or Naveen Jindal. And trust me, even if there was an action supposed to be taken, and there has to be some judicial ground to take some action. And all of us, whether it is Rahul Ishwar or myself, we have condemned unequivocally whatever comments were made on Prophet, and we absolutely condemn it fair and square. We are against it, and we are for secular nature of this of the country. And Muslims are our brothers. There is no doubt about it. But the point is, if Nupur Sharma had to go to the jail, how many cases, how many people have gone to the court and, looked out for justice? No. But what we're doing here is we're going to the street. We're teaching these children, very young children, sar tan se juda, how radical we can go. And there is something called humanity. And one side, when we say we respect the law and order, and we go and we meet the police, they have families, the policemen have families. You at least pity the kids that they're in the families of the policemen, and they're hurt, they're bleeding, they're being killed. So, sir, if you have trust in the law of the land, if you have trust in the of India and the judicial system, please by all means go to the court and file a petition.
Absolutely, there are legal recourses that every citizen of this country is entitled to. One must not take law into their hands. If you have been wrong, then do follow the due process. Go to the police, go to the courts, but not hit the streets and make these kind of provocative statements. That is what is problematic, and that is something that needs to stop, so that this hate that is spilling onto the streets of India across states, that needs to stop. I thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us here on this broadcast. This, of course, will remain our top focus on Times Now, but be back in just